one. Hello. What's up? What's up, everybody? We're almost to noon o'clock, which means we're going to get this ball rolling. What's up? You say hi in the chat. It's awesome seeing you guys all chat in the chat already. I'm showing up there too. When we hit the Q&A, that's where you'll ask all your questions if you want to, but not yet, not yet. If you could do me a favor, just like this video. It really helps push it to more people. So people know that it's happening. So just, if you could hit it with a like, that would be amazing. Smash like. Wow, you guys are blowing up the chat. What's up? Squad fam, represent. Okay, before we get going, and I am going to release a video later this week kind of giving a life update on Creative Club and like new things that I have going on. Been just getting more and more invested in film photography. So I did a thing. I actually bought the Mamiya 645 AF, and it's amazing. It is an autofocus medium format camera in the 645 format, and I already did have this, the Hasselblad 500 CM 6x6, but I wanted to get a 645 to have that 4:3 aspect ratio, and you get 16 shots per roll as opposed to 12. So if you're interested in getting a first look at what I've shot on this already, you can follow me on Twitter. I have a post on it recently on Twitter and a recent post on Instagram. I posted a reel about the classroom today, but the one right before that with the portrait of Emma at the beginning is shot on this. And the last shot in that group is also shot on this if you want to go check it out. But it's really exciting that you're all here. This is our gear room, our new and improved gear room, which I'm also going to talk about in the video later this week when I give kind of like a new updated studio tour. But we have all of our gear super organized in here now, and we finally hung the paper on the wall like we did in our last space. So this is all back here now. And I mean, it's set up as a set, but it's much more, what am I trying to say? It's much easier to get stuff set up once the paper's up on the wall and we don't have to like throw it up on C-stands. So I can just keep blabbing on and on. I know you guys really want, thank you. Thanks for the compliments on the lighting. This is such an awesome setup that the team set up today. The classroom team set all this up while I finished up last minute prep and edited that reel that went on my Instagram. So I just want to give like 5-ish minutes to get some more people in here. If you hadn't already, if you guys could like this video, that just helps it push it into recommended for more people who didn't get the email or didn't get the notification or haven't checked to see what time the giveaway is going to be. That would just be super helpful if you could like the video. It's so wild seeing a live. I don't go live that often on YouTube, and whenever I do, I want it to look like this nice. Shout out to Mike. He set up like everything. I'm running OBS right now, and we have a switcher so I can like switch to, you guys can see what I'm looking at. Whoa. So all the people that are in here, I see my chat, all that good stuff. It's really, really cool. Oh, some classroom people already in here. Let's go. Classroom gang, where you at? That's fun. So if you enroll this time, you'll be friends with all those people. That's pretty cool. Epic. Yeah, people are saying really nice things. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. And then, yeah, I also have this here. I assume everyone's pretty amped about this. It is in my possession, and it is going out to somebody. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of kick this thing off. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. It's so cool to see so many of you in here and so many of you like just wanting to support me in general and the stuff that I do. And so for that, thank you so much for being here at the very least. More than what this is and what this giveaway is like, and what this week is going to mean for me, I just want to bring a lot of value to you guys in whatever way. So I just want you guys to know that I'm going to be answering tons of DMs and emails, and like I have a texting app, so you can text me. I just want to answer tons of questions and help a bunch of people this week. And to the best of my ability, I'm going to try to get back to everyone with those questions, and like if you guys have any. So please reach out no matter what, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Me and the whole team are on it this week. So yeah, awesome. This is super exciting. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to a little presentation I have for you guys. Down in the corner now. Hi. Welcome to the classroom giveaway. You're probably here because you entered into the giveaway and you want to see who the winners are. The reason I'm doing this giveaway is because my course is launching, the classroom. It's the culmination of 11 years of me being in this industry of doing wedding photo and wedding filmmaking. And it's mind-blowing to be at this place now where I'm able to help other people find the success that I've seen in this industry of getting into like the 6-figure realm and doing it full time, and leaving your day job or any kind of part-time work to be able to pursue this full time. So yeah, I just feel super blessed to be able to be in this position to teach people. And I wanted to do this giveaway because like we did one last time, we launched the classroom and enrollment, and obviously I'm going to be super transparent through all of this. It obviously increases engagement and people wanting to be a part of the classroom and hear about it and all that good stuff. But I wanted to beef it up even more this time with how successful it has been already with our first launch enrollment with over 100 people enrolling. I wanted to give back. I wanted to do something like giving away a camera body and giving away more courses for free. And just setting people, a handful of people, 7 people in this circumstance, up for success as you pursue this stuff. And, out of a lot of people who submitted into this giveaway, clearly there will be a few winners and a lot of not winners. Nice way to say losers. I just want you to know that like I'm still available, that my YouTube channel is still here, that this whole week, like I said, I want to be answering DMs and helping as much as I can with you in your business, whether that be you enrolling in the classroom or not. So just know that. So I just want to show you guys what it looks like, our kind of new and improved site and everything that's here. It's linked in the description if you want to check out the website. It's a labor of love. It took us months and months and months of filming and editing and getting like 28 plus hours of content between the photo and video courses. So what's really cool now is like there's tons of reviews all over the site of people who have already engaged with it, enrolled in the classroom. And yeah, just if you're interested at all, please go check it out. And within there, you can actually find the free module if you haven't checked that out already either. That's just something completely free that you can check out as well. And then I just want to kind of show you guys what it looks like as well to just be in it, like outside of just the free module. There are 12 separate modules with new bonuses. So there's new BTS that's in there. And throughout this week, we're going to be adding even more stuff. Another BTS chapter. I'm going to be doing updated gear modules with all the new gear purchases I've made this year with film stuff and with like my new R5 and my C70, which is recording me right now. But there'll be full-blown new editing module in the video portion, and then my update with how I've been using 606 presets for the photo side. So this is what it looks like when you're inside of the classroom. You can see that there's embedded links with anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours.
And my really wide-angle lens.
Me and my wide-angle lens in that module, which you can go to full screen and view kind of however you want. So yeah, I wanted to just do some due diligence on showing you guys at least what it looked like, if you're at all interested in it. But my heart behind this, as I mentioned, is just that I was a classroom teacher when I came out of college, and being able to come back to it in this way is just so fulfilling for me. Being able to see other young entrepreneurs and creative entrepreneurs like build and turn their businesses into something that is sustainable for them, that they can use as a job and not just a salary job in a cubicle where they're frustrated. It fires me up. It gets me so excited. So I wanted to add even more this time, and what's super exciting is that it's the same price with more additions in it this time. So we're adding all those bonus modules, but it's going to be the same price with 6 months of financing without any interest. So if you buy a solo course, it's $333 a month for 6 months, and if you buy the bundle, it's $499 a month for 6 months. So that's spread out over time without any interest. And you do have the option to pay for it upfront in full if you want to. But we just want to give a ton of options to people if you're at all interested in it. And the truth is, if I can just help you book one more wedding in this process of you enrolling in the classroom, you will make your money back. Based on the averages, at least in the US, and maybe this means 2 weddings for, if you're outside the US or in a different market, you can very easily make your money back if you apply all of the principles that are taught within it. So that's just kind of my mantra in providing the classroom and selling it to people, is that if you follow all this stuff and you put in the hard work, you can make that money back with just 1 or 2 weddings. So enrollment is open today all the way through July 25th at midnight. I'll be doing 2 more live streams this week, one on Thursday, just a full-blown Q&A in the evening, which will be super fun. And then 1 more at the last hurrah next Monday, all the way till midnight, like we did last time. And yeah, it's just super fun to be able to do that and hang out with you guys again. So let's announce the winners. I'm done giving my spiel. Thank you for listening. I've come to realize I'm not a very good salesman because I hate selling things, but I really do believe in the classroom, and I feel like it's so unbelievably powerful. And it's just been so encouraging to see all the reviews pour in from all the people who have already enrolled in the course. So thanks for listening to that. I do want to announce the winners. First up, we have Michael Rudnick. Oops, too early. But Michael, you won the 606 presets. You're the first one. There's 3 at the top of 606 presets and LUTs. We have the 4-hour mentor session. We have 2 classroom bundles. And then we have the R6 at the end. So Michael Rudnick, you won the first one, 606 presets and LUTs. Congratulations. Next up, we have Russell Askram. You won 606 presets and LUTs. Congratulations, Russell. Next up for the last 606 presets and LUTs, we have Ben Craigburn. Ben Craigburn, congratulations. 606 presets and LUTs for all 3 of you guys. Next up, we have the 4-hour mentor session with me, either digitally on video chat, or you can come to Chicago and we can chat that way. Who do we have? We have Umit Balut. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Umit Balut, 4-hour mentor session. And by the way, all these winners, I'm going to be reaching out to you via email based on your submission. So that I can follow up and we can make sure all this stuff happens. Next up, we have 2 bundles of the classroom. This is both photo course and video course, both of them. First bundle goes to Anna Zanoni. Anna Zanoni, congratulations. You won the classroom photo course and the classroom filmmaking course. And one more person who won the bundle of the classroom, we have Leon Cray. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Leon Cray, congratulations. You also won a bundle, both the photo and the video course. And then finally, drum roll, R6. R6 is going to Shimri Shyam. Shimri Shyam, you won the R6. Again, I'm going to be reaching out to all of you who won this contest. In the 1 of 7 prizes, congratulations and thank you all for entering. I really appreciate you guys engaging with this and just being a part of it. And for the rest of this, I really just want to to open up and let you guys know that the classroom's open. You can go to education.ericfloberg.com. You can check out the free module, or you could just hang and do Q&A the rest of the time on this live, because we're going to be chilling here and I'm going to be answering questions in the chat. So I'm going to go back over there and we can just start firing away on the chat. Holy, there's a lot of comments. Okay. I just like went back and it's just, okay, I'm going to do my best to keep up with these, but I know that they're just going to get like, it's just going to get crazy with questions, but feel free to hang around to get quick answers on all the things that you guys have questions on, and let's party and chat for a while. Okay. It's going to take a while to, I know the chat is like delayed. So, okay. Okay. What do I think about those starting, maybe those less than 3 years in the game? Do I think it's a good idea to give away 10% to people to refer them to sealed clients? Absolutely. I think that's a great strategy. I think, yeah, giving people the opportunity to just see who you are and what your work is, and like any way to get your foot in the door with new clients when you're starting is an incredible way to get started. A lot of people are really scared of discounts or shooting for free or anything like that. So I highly recommend doing strategies like that, doing giveaways, promoting yourself in interesting and unique ways and creative ways. Absolutely. What grade did I teach? It was 7th grade. Really difficult age, but super sweet kids. Yeah, I was in special ed, so it had a bunch of different challenges. But yeah, a lot of my old students like message me on TikTok and Instagram and stuff. It's really weird to see them as like 18-year-olds. Just bought the presets about an hour ago and they're incredible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Do you have an opinion on running paid social media ads to market your photo business? Great question. I do have an opinion on that. For me personally, it doesn't make sense for me at this point. I think it does make sense for a lot of people. And I think it makes sense when you're starting and when you're really trying to get your foot in the door into a market. So, yeah, just doing your best to engage with the target market, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, and doing your research on what's best practice on retargeting those ads and having engaging content that makes people want to click. I'm not a professional in that realm, but getting more traffic to your site, just getting the business going, that's a really good way to start that. And all you need is a small percentage of people actually booking that click through on those ads. So yeah, I would look up all the tutorials if that's something you're interested in doing, but my strategy is much more of doing it organically. And I have in the course in module 10, it's called Marketing Without Marketing. And it's the whole like social strategy that I've used to kind of hack the system into like doing it for free and doing it with Instagram and YouTube and all these places where you can promote yourself for free. Which I also highly recommend, and I think in a lot of ways can be even stronger. Not saying that one way is better than the other, but then after those launch off points, it's better to then have referrals from your existing clientele. So really serving your clients super well and getting all their family and friends on board to then hire you after you've shot, their sister's wedding or whatever. Okay. What hair product do I use? It is Harry's styling putty. I get it from Target. I definitely blow dried the hair this morning though. Got to get it wet first and then you blow dry it and then it stays. Let's see. What would we do if the winners don't reply or never claim their prize? That's a great question. If they don't reply, then we'll move to the randomizer and pick more names and then email you guys. Question, what are my favorite settings in shooting photos and shooting video? So for photo, I'm always making sure I'm shooting in RAW. And now I shoot with a Canon R5 most of the time when it comes to digital. So always shooting RAW and shooting in full manual. When I first started, I shot a lot in aperture priority because I had a really hard time with getting my exposure correct. But over time, I learned that manual helped me like really learn how to use a camera correctly. But I definitely recommend dabbling with aperture priority when you're first starting. But now that there's electronic viewfinders in digital cameras and mirrorless cameras, you have the ability to see the exposure of the image before you shoot it. So that's a different game. And I would highly recommend in your free time to start shooting in manual and figure out what shutter, aperture, and ISO are on your own time. When it comes to video, I highly recommend shooting in log. Log is a flat profile that gives you the ability to have much more dynamic range in your video. And in the course, in the classroom, I go through all of those settings, frames per second and the 180 rule. So shooting in 24 frames per second or 60 frames per second, and then doubling your shutter from those frame rates. So your shutter would be 1/50th of a second at 24 frames, and 125th on your shutter when you're shooting 60 frames. So if you're just starting out with video, don't let all those numbers and all that jargon intimidate you. But what I would recommend first is like learning the 180 rule, figuring out what those settings are, and then exploring what log is, log footage, and how to grade it, which again, I cover in depth in the classroom. Let's see. I saw pre-wedding game day breakfast. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at eating breakfast. It's like 2 coffees, nothing else. No, it's not that all the time, but I try to do something like a banana, and I like those like fig bars, those like organic fig bars. They're not really good for you, but the packaging makes it look like it's healthy. And then if I'm like really feeling it, I'll do a bagel and cream cheese. I'm boring. I don't know. Like if I was like really going to take it serious and eat a really good breakfast, I would definitely do over easy eggs on toast. That's what I would do. What mic is this? This is from a brand called Cascade, and it's called Elroy. It's discontinued. But it is a cardioid microphone, and it was gifted to me by a friend. So a lot of people ask me where they can get it, but I don't know if you can even get it anymore. I think you'd have to like buy it used or something. Sweet. Okay, let's see. Why is your cut so fresh? Because I got it on Saturday. Yeah, my boy Patrick over at Fernwood hooked it up. Always getting fresh cuts from Fernwood. If you're in Chicago, check out Fernwood Barbers. They're incredible. Congrats. It's really fun to see you guys all congratulate the winners. Let's see. Yeah, so I already talked about the mic. This switcher is the ATEM Mini from Blackmagic. It's like a $300 switcher, and I can do this. Ta-da! And I can do that. Mike set it up for me. I know nothing about the switcher. I just know those buttons, and then that's it. But I bought it last time we launched the classroom because I knew we would be doing lives like this and stuff. Let's see. Have I ever felt a bit insecure about the content I put out? 100%. When I first started, and even now. I shoot weddings on iPhone, and when compared to some of John Bunn's films, you feel like you're so far. Yeah, like everyone has a starting point, and a common phrase used by my buddy Ben Heish is comparison is the thief of joy. And I think comparison can be life-sucking in the way that you're looking at other people where they are 10 years down the road and you're comparing yourself to them. That's not a fair comparison, first and foremost. You have to have the self-awareness to realize that you can be there. You just have to put the work in first. You can be there, but you really have to do your due diligence in figuring out what does it look like for me to get all the technical stuff in place, and what does it look like for me to develop a philosophy of my business. I think those 2 things are the most important things in growing your business. How do I do it well? And then how do I do it for a long time? And as long as you show up and you keep building, you will continue to have opportunities that could lead to something like a John Bunn or a Ben Heish, or, like any given person that's credible in the wedding photo or filmmaking world, Jonas Peterson, White and Reverie, So in another way, like start comparing in a healthy way. Start comparing in a way that goes, okay, how did they do that? How did they get to that place? What do I need to do to make it look like that, to sound like that, to have a business like that? And then start asking the necessary questions to people who are willing to answer, like being on lives like this, or investing in a course or going to a workshop or signing up for a Patreon, digging through people's YouTube channels. Because then it's on you at that point. Let's see. Go-to coffee order. Any black coffee as a pour over is my go-to coffee order. I don't do much other than that. I just really like good quality coffee in a pour over form. Let's see. Best approach if you're shooting a mid-sized wedding without a second shooter. So at this point, I really don't like shooting solo. If it's anything over 50 to 70 people, I would recommend, if you have the ability to pay someone $15, $20 an hour to just assist for the whole day or at least a portion of the day, that can really relieve a lot of stress for you. I think what's really important to set expectations for your client, just saying like, okay, if I'm solo, this is what I can cover realistically. I obviously can't be in two places at once. And if they know that, then they can understand that, you know, you might not be getting as much cocktail hour coverage if you're going to do portraits with them. So it's about like, it's really about setting expectations in that sense. And then just do hard work and like be available and, you know, try to get as much coverage as you can in that time. I know it can be extremely stressful, but know that that's what you're signing up for. And then really consider if it's anything over 50 people, up to 100 people, I would really recommend like talking to your client about getting a second shooter or hiring an assistant for yourself. If that assistant gives you the ability to then shoot way better and treat your client better, then that gives you the ability to book more stuff later. I think people are scared of hiring people because they're just like, I don't want to waste that money. But you might not realize how much of an investment that means if that means that later you can then book more stuff. So you got to be thinking about those things. Congrats. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Loving the presets. Thank you so much. Patreon Squad fam. Favorite location to take photos in Chicago? My favorite location is probably the Beeline in the West Loop. It's over by, it's not called the Ace Hotel anymore, which is really sad. It got bought out by someone else. But it's just north of like Green Street and Randolph in the West Loop. There's a bunch of murals and it's like really grungy and cool. There's like a big textured colored wall and graffiti and train tracks and like an overpass train tracks. Don't go on train tracks and don't photograph on train tracks. Just don't do it. But yeah, I love that area. I really love, I mean, it's, everyone goes there, but North Avenue Beach just like can't be beat, especially when you just get super good light from golden hour into blue hour. This week, we're actually doing a live golden hour into blue hour shoot with a couple. And it's going to be awesome. I'm super stoked. We're shooting that on Wednesday evening, and that video is going to go live on Saturday, Steven? Yeah. So there's gonna be videos all week long that we're publishing as the team and I work together to make a ton of content for this week and just give a bunch of value on YouTube. Any chance I have any prospects for hosting one-off workshops in Chicago? Well, we do at Creative Club. Our space is, again, we're going to be releasing another video this week on YouTube about studio updates. And we've been furnishing it throughout the past few months, and it's really getting to a place now where we just had Braxton and Emma's wedding reception here with like 15-ish, 20-ish people. So it's like a nice little quaint venue for stuff like that. So you can hit us up on Creative Club's Instagram. Creative Club Chicago is what we are on Instagram, or creativeclubchicago@gmail.com. Best wedding film delivery system for clients. I personally only use Vimeo, but I know there's a handful of other ones. Like Webflow is the biggest one that I've heard and I've seen. That's totally up to you on what you want for a client experience, but I know Pixieset and PicTime are now supporting the ability to do that. I'm using PicTime currently. I really want them to be able to embed it so that people can download straight from it, but I believe Pixieset just rolled that out to be able to download your videos from the gallery. So if you're a hybrid photo video person, that could be extremely valuable for you. But if Pixieset did it, I'm sure PicTime is soon to follow doing that. But I've always just done Vimeo and just let the work speak for itself. Call me old fashioned. At least I don't deliver on a DVD. teach 7th grade photography. All boys, a handful, but they bought you Crocs with a camera tag. Yes, that's so good. How do I work with clients to add time for creative portraits in their wedding galleries? Usually have 30 to 45 minutes for portraits, but still find that gives me just enough time to cover the basics. So adding time for portraits. Yeah, so over time, I've really come to realize that like I just need to be better at short windows of time for portraits and not necessarily push for more time with portraits. It all depends on what the couple wants. So this goes to my philosophy of just like breaking down the day for them. If you're sitting in that meeting and you're going, okay, so for 30 to 45 minutes that's built into the schedule now, you can expect this one location and this many images. Are you cool with that? So just letting them know that from the get-go. And if they're okay with that, I would just stick with that. And then maybe pull them at one other part of the day if you can. If you have an idea, they're usually willing to do that with you. It's really just taking that mindset of like taking away from you and what you could deliver or have on your blog or have for your portfolio and really serve them in what they want. So you might be like, hey, you're only going to get this many photos with that much time. Do you want more time? And they might be like, yeah, I actually do. So in that sense, then you should start building it into the timeline and figuring out when you can do that. But it's really just a mindset thing, because then it's like, okay, if that's not as valuable to them to have those extra portraits outside the 45 minutes, what do you need to engage with that is more impactful for them? That could be family time. That could be any kind of traditional thing that they're doing. It's just like you have to figure out what is most important to them and then find all the nuance of what you can photograph in those moments. Because, I just feel like that is so much more valuable and honestly will communicate more to clientele in the future than just pretty portraits. Because you will have pretty portraits from that section, but you might be missing out on like really raw, emotional, cool things happening in other parts of the day. How do I handle non-wedding based photo and video work? Do I decline or not promote those? No, I definitely take it, but I don't really market myself as a commercial photographer, a commercial filmmaker. I've just made connections within Chicago and in other places to land work like that from time to time. So I have a portfolio that I can just one-off email work that I've done in the past to try to land clientele like that. But it's not really my focus because I can't handle taking any more than, one every once in a while on top of shooting weddings and making YouTube videos and Patreon and classroom stuff. So if that's something that you want to market, you have to consider, okay, is this going to be part of my brand that I already have with weddings and an extension of it and maybe another tab on my website? Or do I need to do another rebrand and really try to market this other business that is a commercial entity? So you really are just between those two things of, is it going to be my personal brand or should I market this entirely different thing? For me, if I wanted to pursue more of that in the future, I would make it a separate thing, but that's just me personally. Right now, as it stands, like I really try to focus on one thing at a time. And once that thing is healthy enough, then I'll start taking on work in another realm or diversifying in a different way. I hear 35 mil or 50 mil is more natural for the eye. Which of the two should I get as my next lens? Those are my two favorite lenses and my two go-to lenses. So it just depends on what you want. 50 is a more compressed look, starting to get into the telephoto realm. So you just have that kind of fall off and compression and bokeh. Really good for portraits, especially if you get like a 1.2 lens. It's just the new Canon RF50 is insane. They don't have an RF35 L series yet. So if you're in the Canon system, I would get the 50 if you're like really wanting to splurge. I started with a 50 as my first prime lens. But once I got the 35, I felt like I became much more of a photojournalistic photographer, if that makes sense. The 35 really forces you to like get into the action, whereas the 50 just like it kind of makes you lazy, honestly, in my opinion. Like you could still be kind of far away, but that depends on what your style is. Like if I'm photographing cocktail hour, I kind of want to shoot it with 35 and just like get up in all of the action and like have fun with it. But the 50 is just kind of this awkward, like I'm sort of in it, sort of not. Anyway, that wasn't the best answer, but you have to figure out what you want and what that tool is going to do for you before you make a decision on it. Like, do you want more photojournalism? Do you want more portraiture? Okay, I lost my place. Okay, found it again. Will me or any of the crew be putting out BTS or tutorial type videos on the documentary process? Yeah. Throughout the rest of the fall, I'm partnering with MusicBed on behind the scenes stuff for the documentary. So we're in this season right now of figuring out funding for the documentary and like what the next steps in the calendar is going to be like, and shooting through the late summer and fall into race time. So as all that stuff happens, I'll be releasing BTS videos on my channel. Going to be shooting my first wedding video in a few months for free. Nice. Minimum equipment required. And will my LUTs help as someone who isn't very experienced in using them? All great questions. So kudos to you for shooting it for free and like getting yourself out there and just having no expectations because they're doing it for free. That's a great place to start. If you have the opportunity to bring somebody with you that has a little bit more experience, that's really helpful. If you have a friend who's like willing to help, or even if you're willing to pay them to be there, I would recommend that. As far as minimum gear goes, shoot with what camera you have. If you need to rent something like from Borrow Lenses, you can rent a camera body or a lens. At the very least, have a couple sources of audio. So having a lav microphone or having a recorder that you can record line out of the speaker for speeches and first look and vows and all that stuff. I have a few videos. If you check out the YouTube channel and go to my playlists and under tutorials, I have an audio gear for wedding filmmakers video, and a bunch of other like first things to start as a wedding filmmaker, like how to start. It was a MusicBed sponsored video I did 2 years ago, I think. Just look through that playlist and find anything that's wedding filmmaking related and watch all those. And as far as the LUTs go, yes, you can watch one of my most recent videos, how I use the LUTs in Premiere and what it means. If you're gonna go into your first one with shooting log, which is it's a profile on a video camera that gives you wide dynamic range, protecting highlights and shadows in your image. You're gonna want to understand how to use a Rec 709 LUT first, and then 606 on top of that. So if you're just shooting a standard picture profile or a flat picture profile, you don't have to worry about the Rec 709 LUT. You can just put 606 on top of that. So yes, but definitely watch that video or the one that's really old that I made on my channel, how to edit a wedding film. And then you'll see what that process looks like. And then, okay, what LUTs do I use? Conversion LUTs and creative LUTs. Now I use my own that I made with Gamut. They're called 606. So if you just Google search 606 LUTs, you'll find them. Gamut has an incredible Rec 709 for most camera systems, and we have 5 different options in 606, ranging from like really timeless between Ravenswood and Belmont, and then really vibey with Avondale and North Park on the cool cinematic and warm cinematic spectrum. I'm in love with them. It took 2 years to like finish that thing, the whole thing between first idea and launch. But yeah, I'm stoked that it's an option for people now, and people have seemed to love them so far, which is awesome. Eric, any tips for bleeding your philosophy and mantra into my branding and website to attract ideal clients? 1,000,000%. And I feel like that's where I'm kind of feeling on my website, is just really extending that philosophy right up front and making that known. I tend to do that in my client meeting when I'm like actually talking to them, which is definitely the place I want to do it. I want to engage with them and let them know that I'm there to serve. I'm there to be there for them. I'm there to calm them down. And so using that kind of language on your site that verbiage can really separate you from so many other people that just have a really pretty aesthetic or like a really grungy aesthetic or whatever. And communicating that first. I love doing that in the info section where people have read the about me and then inquired with like, oh, I love ET as well, and I run marathons too. Like they connect with those things, and so it's really cool to be able to have another connection outside of, hey, your stuff looks really pretty, you know. Also watched the Vivian Meyer documentary, Your Wreck in the Course, and it's so good. Everyone go watch it. That's awesome. I love hearing like little parts that I forgot that I said in a 2-hour module, and then somebody going and be like, I took that one piece of advice and I ran with it, and now I'm so inspired, and it's just really cool. I believe that was in the creative portraiture section and all of my inspirations. Yeah, super cool. When I first started shooting, did I ever shoot something and just didn't like the end product, and neither did the client? Yeah, I think everybody eats it in that way at some point in the beginning. So what's really helpful for me in that stage psychologically was that I wasn't charging a ton of money to do that. In that testing phase, it was like, hey, if I'm new to this, I'm going to charge a rate that is indicative of that and fair. And that really calmed my nerves in those scenarios. Very rare that people didn't like it based on what they were paying. But if they're so upset, like, I would take the time to try to fix that thing that they want fixed, or to refund them their money, because it's just not worth trying to battle that, couple $100 you made versus, people just not willing to recommend you or even writing you a bad review online at the beginning. That can be really hurtful. So, yeah, just like treat them well, try to make it right, and move forward and learn from that mistake. Winners were announced earlier. You can rewatch the live to see who won, and we're going to reach out via email for the 7 people who won. Would I suggest upgrading to a camera that shoots 10-bit? Currently shooting on a camera that shoots 8-bit. So Canon 8-bit, like in the C200 and the R5, R6, pretty robust and pretty good. 10-bit is definitely a game changer. You can make it work either way. If you know how to grade with a Rec 709 and know how to tweak a creative LUT and just get in there, and if you even want to get as nuanced as working with scopes or wheels and dialing it in, the only effect you're going to see with 8-bit is just not as robust of color, and you might get banding in certain scenarios. Like if you're shooting at a bright blue sky and there's different shades of blue, you might get banding in that blue sky. If that's something that really bothers you, switching to something that's 10-bit or 12-bit can solve that problem. But that's just one of those things, like really only filmmakers are seeing that, not necessarily clients, like ever. So if it's at this point, I would recommend, if you're like trying to move your way up in the gear spectrum, to get there, because it is incredible to have 10-bit. But if it's too much to make that jump right now, I would say work with what you have until you have the finances to make that upgrade. Excuse me. Have to tap out today. Andrew, you're probably gone now, but thanks. Just subscribe. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love the phrase due diligence. Someone called me on it. I knew it. Someone was going to say that. I say it way too much. It's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm going to be all self-aware and self-conscious about saying due diligence, though. Do I have a call or Zoom with your clients before sending a contract? Yeah. I always, so in the client experience module, which is free in the classroom, linked in the description, education.ericfloberg.com. There's a free module 7, client experience, is a full-blown conversation I have with Steven and Laura. Steven is my co-host on Rally Caps, our podcast. We did like a fake client consultation where they ask all the questions, and that's the type of meeting I like to do. I like to do it face-to-face as much as possible, or via FaceTime, Zoom, at least seeing faces on the web, to create that connection right away. So that just kind of sets the precedent right away of like how much I care and how much I'm willing to serve versus just, having a quick 10-minute conversation on the phone. It can leave a way bigger impact on the clients and gives you the opportunity to share your philosophy so that they connect with you even more outside of just the visuals that they've seen. What picture profile do I use in camera for photos for the best outcome for your presets? That's a great question. I typically go neutral, but your RAW, when you shoot RAW, you have the ability to change it all in post. As far as when I'm shooting, neutral just gives me the confidence and clarity of what I think and this is at least Canon, of not feeling too saturated and giving me more of a filmic look, but that's something that you can adjust in post as well. A RAW image is just incredibly versatile. And so, so Develop actually has proprietary technology in their profiles to get you to a base point straight from the start. So that's the company I worked with, and their technology is just incredible because you can get the same look no matter what camera you're shooting on. So if your second shooter's on Sony, you're on Canon, their base profile is going to get you. It's basically like in video a Rec 709 that gets you to the base look, and then it'll add Ravenswood or Belmont or whichever preset you choose after that to get them to look the same. So yeah, that's what I do, and Develop has solved those problems between different camera bodies, which is super cool. We did not email the winners yet, but we will. Let's see. Any chance we've ever thought about an intern at Creative Club? Yes, we have. We did have an intern once. It didn't go super well, and it's not like a profitable business. We're just always trying to cover rent with rentals that we have or people that are co-working with us. And we really haven't been able to do that the last year. So we finally have invested in all the furnishing and everything in the past 6 to 12 months, and still are waiting on furniture coming in. Once all that stuff is done, we're going to be opening it up to rentals a lot more. But we do have enough people in house right now to be able to manage that stuff. Thanks for your kind words, guys. How do I manage what my philosophy with my associates? Great question. Does it bring me income with a commission or percentage when an associate signs a wedding that comes from you? Yes. So I go into depth on the business section in the course on this, which is module 8. And I talk about, module 6. I talk about the commission that I make versus them. So it's a 70-30 split on our associate commissions. So if it comes through my inquiry process, my process is I take them on, we talk to them. So Nami, my assistant, will share pricing. We'll go through first conversations. We'll offer either Steven or Jesse or Joseph as an option to them. And then we kind of let them take the first call on their own, the first meeting on their own. And I'm not taking on any associates that don't already line up with my philosophy. So that kind of answers that question. I don't try to impose it on them. I'm only trying to bring people on board that already share that with me and can get on board with that philosophy and that mindset at the forefront. And then reiterating that over time as we continue to shoot together. Really want to use film for wedding photography, but I'm concerned that my clients will get annoyed if I have to reload every 15 shots. Yeah, so I haven't full blown become a hybrid wedding photographer with digital and film. I'm just kind of supplementing with it and not charging for it. Gene has started to incorporate that. Steven and I are starting to think about doing some sort of marketing towards elopement photography that includes film photography, and it being more of an elegant service, if you will, or more of that niche market. Most film photographers that I see in the wedding world bring an assistant to load film and to keep track of all that stuff. So take that for what it is if you're willing to invest in that. The issue is, especially with film increasing in price, you have to really figure out, is that the right move? Is that going to make you more money? Now, if it's just something that's strictly artistic and you're willing to just break even on that, if it inspires you, that's one thing for sure, and that's totally reasonable and fair. But you also do have to look at it from an economical standpoint as well in your business. If it's causing your business to bleed instead of make more money, I would really consider how you can make that more efficient for yourself and maybe not shooting film if that's the case. But if you can charge an extra $1,000, an extra $1,500, an extra $2,000 for including some sort of film package, maybe that means you shoot through 6 to 8 rolls, I would recommend hiring an assistant to help you out throughout the day to make sure that they can load quickly for you while you're still shooting digital, and then they can hand you a film camera and you can get going on that. Do I use an online gallery for clients or give USB? Yes, I use PicTime for all my photo delivery. Awesome. 24 versus 35 mil. I like 35 way better than 24. 24 starts to get a little warped on the edges, but I like 24 when I'm in really tight scenarios. Most of the time 35 is like more than enough though, unless you're really tight, then you can't like get everything you need to in that tight of space. How do I deliver raw footage? In the past, I've delivered via USB in the mail, but I upgraded my Vimeo account a few years back, and I've just been delivering all the raw footage through Vimeo so they can download straight through there, and really just kind of saying it as like I don't want anything to get lost in the mail. This is way easier. You can get it right away. And when I export that raw footage, I just lower the bit rate a lot, so it's not like a super huge file, so they can download it a lot easier, because raw footage can be up to 4 hours long. So I try to target that bit rate around like 15 megs a second or 20 megs a second, so it's a lot more compressed. And most of the time I'm delivering that in 2K instead of 4K, and just making that clear to clients. And if they wanted it up-res, then I can do that as well, but that's not standard per the agreement. Oh, that was the next question somebody said. There we go. Awesome. Have I ever broken gear? Yeah. I've broken a few lenses, had to get them recovered. Canon has a great service called Canon Professional. What is it? It's CPS. Canon Professional Services. If you get their platinum plan, it's like $300 a year, but you get 20% off or 30% all fixes. So if you break anything or like hurt a lens, you'll get 30% off of fixing that piece of gear. My C200 is definitely busted right now. I dropped a tripod head on it and it cracked off part of the body on the top of the camera. So it's just been gaff taped back on for like 3 or 4 months. And we've just kind of made it a studio camera. Like, this camera doesn't get wet now, so it stays inside, which is fine because I was kind of like looking to retire it anyway. And that works because it's a great B camera, C camera in studio while I work with the C70. Have I ever delivered a wedding and had no complaints or response from the couple at all? Yes. Yeah, that's most of the time now. And that really has to do with setting good expectations from the beginning, especially on the wedding video side. The biggest complaint wedding video clients have is use of music. So really dialing that in is super helpful. I like sending a bunch of music options to them and letting them choose out of 6 to 12 options and then running from there. A lot of times they're like, you know what, I like most of these on the list, just feel free to choose whatever you want. That gives you the ability to work with the music you want, but still give them the choice of picking something that they really prefer. As far as photo goes, setting really clear expectations of what they're going to get, what your coverage is like, and then sending full galleries so they can see before you even start shooting for them what you are like as a wedding photographer. Once you order the classroom, can you only view the classroom courses once, or will it always be available to view? Great question. I never like to say lifetime access because year after year, I always have to upgrade through Thinkific, which is the platform we host the classroom on. But I've told everyone, like, you can expect this to be live for at the very least 2 years from every launch, which is more than enough time to be able to watch all of it. And it will probably be longer than that as well. As I continue to do education, you'll have plenty of time to watch all of it. And I highly recommend spreading it out, but not over the course of 2 years. You can absolutely get through all of it in a 2-month time frame. If you're taking it slow, you could blast through it in a week if you wanted. Okay, what else do we have here? Thanks for answering questions. Lucky enough to be shooting alongside your fiance. That's awesome. Who's a wedding photographer? Awesome. Just going to tag along with her to shoot the video. That's great. That's really helpful. Do I offer a videography course with editing included? Yes. The Classroom video course has everything you need to know about editing a wedding film, and all the process of gear. And yeah, it has all the technical things, all the business things, all the philosophical things. It's linked in the description. couldn't join. Sorry. Seven people were announced. We are emailing winners. I'm gonna leave this video live if you want to rewatch that part once it's done. Do I have I ever used a ProMist filter? Yes. Recently, Steven's been using a Glimmer Glass filter by Tiffen, which we like the rendering of that a whole lot more. I do like the 1/8 ProMist filter. Anything past that gets a little too vibey for me. Like 1/4 is very much a vibe and can start getting into the realm of like, oh, this is what everybody did in 2020 to 2022. So I'd say just be careful, but the 1/8 I do still really like it. It softens the edge on highlights and just gives a little bit of dreamy quality, that filmic look. I definitely like mist diffusion. You just have to be careful it's not too strong. Going to shoot a wedding soon. A bit worried about how to get the audio from when they're talking to a mic. So I have a YouTube video in my tutorials playlist. It's called 5 pieces of audio gear for wedding filmmakers and freelance filmmakers. It's like 2.5 years old, so you have to scroll down. It's a cool thumbnail with all of the audio gear in it. I'm sure you can find it if you just type in my name, Eric Floberg, audio gear, you'll find it on YouTube. Any one of those will help with getting audio from the microphone, especially the handheld recorders we use. The Sony handheld recorders, ICDUX is the root of the name, ICDUX, but I break down one of those in that video. And we've recently been using the ICDUX 660, and that is something you can actually clip to clothing, which is super great. Highly recommend those, as well as a recorder like the Tascam DR40X or the Zoom H5. And that's XLR out of the back of a speaker, which is helpful. What was the name of that company you mentioned that makes bass presets for matching cameras? Oh, that's Develop, DVLOP, and that's who I launched my presets with, in conjunction with them. 606 is a Develop product, and they have those bass profiles to work off of. Just really, really awesome technology in the preset space. That's why I went with them for my presets, because I wouldn't be able to do that, and they're geniuses. Just buy extra film backs for shooting. Yep, for shooting. Oh, Nelly, hey. Yeah, you can buy extra film backs and swap out those rolls depending on, what you're shooting. But yeah, I mean, you can with the Mamiya 645, you can do that. You could do it on the Hasselblad 500 CM. But yeah, then you even have to load those film backs as well. But Nelly shoots film on wedding days, I think, still. I don't know if you're still here, Nelly, but you could weigh in on that more. That'd be super helpful. Cheers from France. Awesome. Have I ever sent a video to a couple you completed and they did not like your song choice? Oh yeah, I kind of covered that already. Yes, that has happened, and that's why I built that safeguard in my business to make sure that doesn't happen in the future by sending the music first. So I send them a playlist from MusicBed, and I have them listen to all that music first and make their selections, or give me a top 3 out of that short list of songs that I could use for their film. And I'll usually suggest something in the forefront. I'll be like, I really like this one, or I really like these two together, and just kind of guide, like, if you trust me, I would love to go with this. And a lot of times my clients are like, totally trust you, love those songs, go for it. And then that's never an issue on the back end of them not liking music because they chose it. Let's see. Am I using 606 LUTs on the live stream? I'm not. This is just a really nice color palette. We need to figure out how we can get the Avondale on top of this next time. Maybe do that on Thursday. But the C70 is just incredible. Log 2 is very, very dope. Just putting Rec 709 on it, it already looks great. But then you get that extra sauce with, I like Avondale and Belmont a lot in the 606 collection. See. One more question, if I may. Yeah, of course. Do I have a screenplay or a structure in mind when I'm shooting a wedding? Yeah, so I don't storyboard any wedding films. I really like to just shoot it like I'm shooting a documentary, just showing up, being available, being present, not really having a whole lot in my head, because I feel like if I do that and I have such a distinct thing I want to accomplish, that forces me out of being present. And I think being present over having a plan, as far as story goes, in shooting a wedding can really be a disadvantage in you not being available for the emotion that's happening or the connection that's happening or the things that are happening around you, all the nuance that's happening around you. So yeah, I highly recommend having a loose plan of some things that you want to get done and keeping a few ideas in your head, but then just being really present on the day to then capture everything you can, because you only get one shot at it in that 8 to 10 hour time frame, and then really constructing your story in post. And I do that in the video editing module in the classroom. I really talk about how I construct it with listening to all the audio first and letting that kind of be a base foundation of the film, audio and music in combination with each other, and really growing from there and letting that kind of be the driving factor of the story. And from there, I'm really inspired with all the visuals that I captured at that point. Let's see here. Someone's saying video is lagging. Let me know if video is lagging or if it still looks good. Congrats to winners. Congrats to winners. Are you monitoring? Is it lagging at all?
I got off Wi-Fi, so it would stop.
Oh, so it would stop lagging. Gotcha. Well, sorry if it's lagging a bit. Hopefully you can still hear me. Awesome. Wow. I think I got to the bottom of the questions. I have one more here. Thoughts on any more questions? Please leave them down below. If you have Q&A, I want to keep going on Q&A. Yeah, Ben said it's lagging too. Maybe our Wi-Fi is just being stupid right now. Let's see here. Thoughts on dealing with stress and unknowables when building a business in the freelance photo and video world. Thanks for the kind words, Cole. Okay, thoughts on dealing with stress and unknowables. Yeah, I mean, that stuff is going to happen. Like in any business, there are going to be unknowables and things that you can't control. And so ultimately, I love those roadblocks and those difficult things as creative fuel. It really inspires you to try things in a different way than you had planned before. Now, when it's technical things, having fail safes is really helpful, like bringing 2 cameras to a wedding if you're shooting photo and making sure you have a backup in case one fails, having multiple lenses in case one cracks in half halfway through. On the video side, having multiple cameras, having 3 sources of audio most of the time to make sure that those things are covered. But then if there's rain, if someone's late, like think of all of those setbacks as reasons to do something different and to make something unique. Like I just delivered a photo gallery where their chuppah, like the Jewish covering in the ceremony, just like flew off in the wind. And then I photographed everybody running to grab it and putting it back in place. And I think that's just a really fun memory. I remember being in the moment and just like immediately my human reaction was just to go help. Oh, wow, spam. Yikes. Remove. I'm not gonna be able to, man, the spammers have just been ridiculous on YouTube recently. Anyway, I was saying, really trying to make sure that I'm in the moment and I'm present to photograph it, because my human reaction was to go to help. And that's not the wrong thing to do, but there were like 7 people helping. So me helping wouldn't have really done anything. So I photographed it. And I think it was really fun for the couple to be able to be like, oh yeah, we weren't there, but then we saw the photos of that happening. Because obviously their family afterwards is gonna be like, oh, it was crazy. Like the chuppah took off in the wind. It like turned into a sail. And then you have photos of that happening. So yeah, just like being present in those moments when things quote unquote go wrong. Those end up being some of the most special things that happen, especially for weddings. So yeah, just having that mindset is really helpful. How are we doing on lagging? Good, bad, no? Is it difficult to create and share presets? Ben just says to hardwire. Yeah, maybe we should get Ethernet cable and just like run it super far. We'll definitely do that on Thursday if we can. Let's see here. Is it difficult to create and share presets? Yeah, I was not willing to do it on my own. That's why I partnered with Develop to do it, because of their proprietary tech with, building those profiles and being able to match color across different camera systems. So yeah, I didn't trust myself to build something like that and to build something as robust as they could in conjunction with me. So yeah, that's why I wanted to partner with companies like Develop and Gamut, because they're brains behind the operation, and I'm more of the artist in that sense. So just teaming up together to be able to make a product like that is why I chose to do it. But yeah, I never would have done it on my own. How do I feel about outsourcing editing for a film? What's up, Corey? I don't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. I don't like the process of figuring that out over months, especially with how little I'm shooting in the wedding film front now. I would much rather just like be my crazy self and edit it over an entire week and perfect it the way I want to. But I know people who are like in the luxury market that have tons of success with doing it. And I know a lot of people use Wedditor, 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 to do theirs, and had tons of success with that. So I think it's a good idea if you're shooting a lot of volume, but really making sure that it's dialed in into your style, and that you're getting the project file, and that you can make your own tweaks after the fact. Okay. One more question. The file format, I'll use the C70. Yeah, so I use MP4 on the C70, and I shoot in Log2. And yeah, the uncompressed 4K, I think it's Motion JPEG on the Mark IV, is horrible for editing. You should have better luck with the MP4 on the C70. I believe it's H.265, but yeah, like cameras are just getting so much harder to edit on older computers these days. So either building proxies for your project. So I would look up a tutorial by Matt Johnson about building proxies, or transcoding to ProRes, which is something I cover in depth in my editing module of the classroom. Those can really help on an old computer with harder codecs. But I have an M1 Max now right here, and it just rips through everything, even RAW. So if that's something you're looking to invest in, it's really nice for workflow, so you don't have to do proxies or transcoding. And yeah, take that for what it is. But if you're stuck on an older machine, definitely proxies or ProRes is going to help with that workflow. Where to get all the wedding outfits? What's up, Luke? I get a lot of stuff from H&M, and I've had some stuff from United by Blue. They sent me some clothing. I try to keep it just really simple, and I've just collected stuff over time. I've even gotten like Target button-ups. I know a lot of people have success. I haven't gotten them yet, but Lululemon pants, dress pants. Do you know what they're called, Steven?
The
Commission pants. Commission Slim. I know Ben's uses those too, right? So at least for dude outfits, I don't really know anything about female clothing, so sorry. Yeah, and hats, like I have one from Gorin Brothers, Goorin, and then I had a custom one made for me by Nomad Modern Hats in Europe, which is really special to me. Oh man, Michael in the chat just helping a brother out. Awesome. How do I deal with copyrights when shooting commercial work? Yeah, to be honest, I don't have that dialed in the way I want to, because the commercial side of my work isn't as robust as the wedding side of my work. So inherently, I do have copyright of the footage, and then it's just figuring out what is the client's and what is not. Recently, I was asked by a client to have raw footage, and so I'm just charging them a bit of an upsell to be able to have access to that, because I'm just not that concerned about other people editing that footage. Like my business is diversified enough that I don't feel like I need to protect that stuff, or anybody, like if they edited it a different way. Like I don't really know when people would think like, oh, that's Eric's footage. I don't know. My mentality on a lot of stuff like that is just kind of like, who would really know that it's your footage and someone edited it a different way? I don't know if that's the question you're asking. Yeah. Mike, have you seen the lagging happening?
It's lagging
A little bit?
Audio's crystal clear.
Okay, cool, good.
Yeah, I don't know if it's OBS or the internet, so I'm trying to hardline you in right now.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yep.
For the full wedding portfolio, are they that you send prospects? Are they like some sort of the best images of the gallery, or are they really a full gallery? I don't do all of the photos. I cull down the photos on a wedding day and get them to a reasonable amount. Usually on a wedding, I'm delivering 600 to 1,000 photos as opposed to the 4,000 or 5,000 that I shoot on the wedding day. So it's not as overwhelming. And then in pick time, I segment them up into different categories like getting ready, portraits, ceremony, all that stuff. Winners will be emailed. Yep, winners will be emailed. Thanks for the insight. Very welcome, very welcome. Photographing the 4th wedding on Friday. Let's go. Go-to comfy shoes for weddings? I don't have comfy shoes, I'm sorry. People wear black Hokas. I know that. That can work if you could pull that off. But I just have inserts in my Red Wing boots, and it's fine. Yeah, I know there's other companies that have comfy shoes, but I always just kind of suffer through, which I probably should change that. Oh yeah, Ben said Lululemon Commission or ABC and Target as their own line that aren't as high quality, but you can get them for sale for $20 sometimes. That's nice. Sick. Not sure if you missed it, although you do a certain company for music and creating your footage. Yeah, so I use MusicBed, and I send all that. Oh yeah, everyone's saying lagging is rough now. Sorry, we're trying to hardline in right now. And connected. How about now? What'd you say? Yeah, you can step in, yeah. Everyone say hi to Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
If you have clothing-related questions, ask Mike. Hardwire.
That's a good chant.
Oh yeah, Ben switches to comfy shoes at the reception. How many hours do I spend on MusicBed looking for music? So I have a rule that like whenever I go to MusicBed, I just try to listen to all of the new stuff that's on there. And then I'm just always collecting to my favorites lists and building wedding lists for specific clients. And then just every once in a while, just doing like an hour or two where you just scour through and listen to a bunch of stuff. I try to pick things in the first 15 seconds of hearing them. If it hooks me and I'm excited about it, I'll listen more. If it doesn't, then I'm just moving to the next one. Ben just like a little deeper on the V-neck for Mike. One more button undone. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Winners were announced. We're gonna email winners. Okay, I think I am connected through Hardline now. Am I clearer? Is there less lag now? Hopefully. Is FPS too high? No, we're going 24 FPS right now.
30, actually.
Oh, 30.
Sorry, yeah, OBS only does 30.
Gotcha.
And it's a really low bit rate. So. We're hardlined. If it's not now, it's
Hardlined. How are we feeling? We good?
best it will be.
Best it'll be. Sorry if it's a little pixelated. Hopefully you still hear me great.
Go check it.
How does a styled wedding shoot work? What's the process to make one? You know, honestly, rules are yours to make in that scenario. You can partner with a planner or other vendors to try to make that happen. If you kind of collaborate with them and figure out like what they've done in the past or an idea that you have, you'd be surprised at how many vendors and how many planners are willing to do that stuff because it's really good promotion for them as well. So you can kind of set the rules and figure out what you want that to be. And there's no specific rules about what you're allowed to do or what you're not allowed to do. You could fake an entire wedding if you wanted to. If you want to just like do the whole production, obviously it's going to cost some money. But that's how so many people have started their careers, by just like creating a portfolio that lets people understand what you're capable of, then booking you for actual weddings, actual work. Video is much better. Okay. Yeah, it might be the OBS bit rate. The animal print though, Mike, it's better. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, we are nearing over an hour now, and the Q&A, the questions have kind of died off. So I'm actually I think I'm gonna call it there. All week I am going to be fielding DMs, and I have a text service. If you want to text me, it's 312-847-2285. I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys can just see that, because it's, if you want to put that in, you want to text me, you can. Okay, I'm going to put it on the screen here. It's up in that corner there. I'm gonna zoom in. Whoop. What just happened? There we go. Up in this corner. 312-847-2285. 312-847-2285. Text me if you have any other questions. Yeah, I will be answering DMs. The classroom is open. Check it out. Check out the free module if you haven't. And yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Another Q&A happening Thursday evening. That one's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be like everybody in Creative Club involved. So make sure to check that out. I'm gonna be putting out a bunch of videos on YouTube this week with new and fun things happening in my life, talking more about the process of what this launch week looks like with the classroom and what it has to offer for you. So more than anything, it's just gonna be tons of fun and valuable content that's coming out all this week. And I hope you guys are well, and I'm gonna go eat a lot of Mediterranean food right now and celebrate the beginning of launch. Yeah, hope you guys are doing well, and I'll see you very soon on the internet. Later.